Hello and welcome back to Awwwards. We're live here in Amsterdam and I have André and Marco from the agency Moxy in Portugal with me.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Nice having you here. So,
Same.
how are you?
Pretty good.
I'm fine too.
You come all the way
fine.
from Portugal?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I
2
actually
hours
came
and a
from
half
Geneva,
flight.
and we met here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
good.
And you're also nominated for Best Site of the Year.
The mobile.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Best Mobile Site of the Year.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
You will know this evening whether you win or not. So,
We will see.
so we keep all our fingers
Like,
crossed.
Let's see. Let's see. Exciting times.
We have
To
great
our-
hopes.
To our
the
community
prize.
out there, if you have any questions in the chat, let me know and I'll ask that to our guys. You also brought some interesting stuff to show, but let's start a little bit about yourself. So
Okay.
tell me about your background. When did you get into the design industry? How long ago was that? And how did you meet?
Okay. So I guess we probably started about the same time, but in very different places. Like about 15, a bit over 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
And actually, in our infancy, we
Yeah,
actually have a lot of contact with technology itself. Like I would say, like on my 12 years old, I already had contact with computers and so on. And I think Marco
yeah,
is
pretty much the same. Like I was very excited. I did a Pokemon website like back then. I mean, I was a kid, so that's what got me started. And eventually, I started doing some freelance work with clients, and then went to college, and that's where we actually met in college.
Okay, great.
So
Yeah.
that's where the whole
we
love affair
actually-
started.
And what did you study?
To computer engineering.
It's the same.
And same.
So
University of
technical.
Aveiro.
Yeah,
Very
very
technical.
technical, very technical. But that's the thing. What got me started with computers was the whole visual thing. Like I was very artistic. But I decided to go to engineering because I also like that. But I always pursued the whole design aspect of the thing, and that's why we ended up collaborating a lot.
Awesome.
Actually, we started like in a common project in university,
that's
and
right,
we
that's right.
we actually felt a synergy between both of us. I will say Marco also has that creative side more than me. I'm more a technical side of things, but we also have that kind of synergy, and we work very well together, and we keep working together for most of our career, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
And when did you found Moxy?
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Yeah,
so
very young.
baby.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
baby
very young
company, yeah.
company. Yeah.
Nice.
We've grown a lot. Like we're 26 people at the moment. We're very ambitious in that way. We had very specific goals that we wanted to achieve. So it has been a wild ride these 2 years, definitely.
Is this your first nomination?
For well, no,
For
not.
Moxy?
I think in one of our companies you were nominated, but we weren't
but
the founders of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
company.
other things,
At-
but
But for Moxy, it's a first
the first.
nomination
For,
after 2 years.
no,
That's
not
brilliant.
really. No,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really.
yeah.
We have
Yeah, you're right.
we won like 14 awards, but more like side of the day, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
This
As
is like the biggest one.
individuals, not as an
No,
agency.
as a company.
As a company
yeah,
as well.
So
Okay.
we recently also won another award for Viga Awards, also yearly awards, and this is for mobile side of the year.
That's
So for this
amazing.
specific category, yeah, it's the first.
But that's amazing for
Yeah.
a 2 years old company, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
So
yeah.
congratulations
Thank you,
on that.
thank you. That's been crazy.
So you have some stuff prepared. So show us some of your technical
Okay.
things.
Okay.
I know that.
Maybe we start with our website. I would
Website,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, let's start with your
Um,
website and show our community your trick. So let's see if
Okay,
they
let's
can
see.
try it out.
Let me try full screen. what are you trying to full screen?
Yeah, it's just doing
Alright.
for. So that's the website. You want to talk a bit about it?
Yeah, sure. By entering the website, you see that we have like a good welcome message to the website, just to give enough time to load all the experience that is within the site. We have this awesome web page. The homepage is filled with WebGL and 3JS and so on to give an immersive experience right on the homepage. And you
So this whole thing ends up being like the homepage is a whole WebGL scene. We
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we would capture in the website our strong design and engineering veins. So we wanted to show that, and that's I think one of the reasons why we were nominated for Mobile Site of the Year. The experience is very similar when you go to the mobile device. Like when
Do you
you
want to
see.
show us that?
Yeah, sure. I'll show you for comparison. For comparison, like if you see this and you go to the to your phone, you will see something very similar. I actually have my phone here. Let's try and.
Yeah, I can show.
I think
right
I can
on the
show
screen.
you. Yeah, there you go. So
I think you can control
so
the phone there.
if you see, it's very
fancy.
We built for the web, very similar.
The
We're
performance as
based out of Porto, as you can see there.
I've never been there.
Oh,
Like
you
that-
have to.
that's-
It's amazing. It's amazing.
What do you see?
So
I can see
good.
you have
What
a
do you see
bridge.
here is like
Yes, we do have a bridge.
yeah, that bridge is an iconic bridge on
Okay.
Porto.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Okay.
So one of the most important things for us doing this website, because we wanted to show that strong arm of engineering, was this needs to work beautifully and flawlessly both on a desktop and on a mobile device. So we really had to fine-tune everything that we were doing, and we actually have a few tips we can share if we have time on how we tackle some of the major issues. And I'll give you a short tip right here. Like we're seeing the bridge. Having a model like this load on the web, and especially on a mobile device, can be quite heavy as a payload. So we ended up splitting the bridge in four parts. So then we mirror again the bridge.
Because it's symmetric.
Exactly.
The bridge is symmetric.
The bridge
so
is symmetric in two axes. So
Okay.
we end up like crunching that file size quite a bit doing this, and we're full of short and sweet tricks like that to make sure that it works flawlessly.
Yeah.
But you also had designers involved into that
Oh
process?
yeah. That's a very
How
important
many
aspect.
people have worked on this website?
All right.
So we had we wanted to involve as many people in the company on this as possible, because we knew everyone was very excited about working on this. So we ended up having pretty much everyone in there do something in the website. So I would probably say nearly 30 people worked on the website, even if doing just a small thing.
Yeah. There was a core team, but many people within the company actually contributed to the website, especially throughout the project. Whenever you need to fine-tune specific parts or implement specific parts of a website, really delicate ones, those people could work specifically on that component, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you founded the company first, and then you did the website.
Oh yeah. We took our time before doing this.
Our website was like a splash page.
Yeah, for like a year, our website was a PDF.
Okay.
That was
Basically,
it.
yes.
That was it. Because if we were going to do it, we wanted to do it properly. So
But
yeah,
that's the right thing
let's
to
focus.
do, isn't it?
let's-
Otherwise, you scare off potential
Yeah.
clients.
If
you
at least whenever someone visited, they knew. Okay, so they didn't do it.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. No, they didn't do it. Maybe they knew what they're
and
doing.
then you came up with something like this.
Yeah.
And you also told me a trick to do, so maybe we can let our community
Right, I will
try that out.
That's an Easter egg.
Right.
Quite a few people found
Yeah.
that. We had people reaching out on Twitter.
I will tilt a bit the camera.
Oh yeah, this
so
is
that's
nice. We can all
we can
collaborate.
all play
Like
together. So everyone out there in the community, go to what is it?
Moxy.studio.
Moxy.studio right now, and click.
10 times,
10 times on the
logo.
on the logo on the homepage. Like
I will do it right now.
We're
Oh,
going
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
And
All
now-
right, I bet it reload just to be
yeah,
sure.
just in there.
And I will click 10 times. All right.
And there you go.
And it turns on a camera.
So this is an Easter egg that we left on the website.
And you can actually,
I like to see here, and yeah, very
And it will
very
always
trippy,
stay.
very trippy.
So you navigate and it will stay like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Ah, so-
You can see the whole website like this.
So you can navigate through the website, seeing yourself, how you
You-
look after a night out in Amsterdam.
That's what got us inspired to do
yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, try it out. Let us know in the chat what you can see if you like it.
this. Yeah.
That's wicked.
Sen-
When you
sen-
hover over the hats and there's your own hat.
Oh yeah. I actually tried to align my face to my picture quite a few times. That's something I do at home.
You can test if he's your brother or not.
Yeah.
Symmetrical.
I actually want to challenge people if they want to like do fun things and send out on Twitter to us their pictures of whatever they are doing.
Your Twitter account is at Moxy?
Moxy Studio.
Moxy Studio.
Yeah,
so take a screenshot and tweet it to at Moxy Studio.
Surprises.
Let's see what happens after this stream. Very cool.
Maybe I will should.
Yeah, we have a few comments here. Someone saying, "Good job, guys." Wow. So yeah.
Yeah,
People love it. So yeah, let us know. Let us know. You have also some other projects prepared to show?
Yeah. So
you can go through the.
So if you go to our work, well, a lot of the work we do we cannot we cannot actually share. So that's one of those things that we're hoping to grow our portfolio just so we can show more, because a lot of we do is behind the curtain. A few things we also do is motion design. If you go to our Instagram account, you'll find a lot of things in there.
What is one of your most successful projects that you have done so far?
This would be it, first of all,
and we have some like
the other ones we can't really tell.
private company
they're
projects, but we can't disclose them, unfortunately. But they are huge in terms of exposure.
For a bit of context, we work a lot with high-end luxury fashion brands, and they are very protective of what they are doing. So
and the brand and so on.
Yeah. Sure. So we cannot really show that.
That's okay.
That's
so let's show what we can show.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that also excites us a lot right now, we are doing a lot of work around the decentralized web, which is something that's coming. So we contribute a lot to IPFS, Leap P2P. For the technical folks out there, they will probably know what I'm talking about. And we actually have a couple of projects we can show there.
But perhaps we could actually a little bit explain what decentralized means, because it's very...
just jump at it, and we'll explain as we go.
Yeah, so we have this project called Discussify, and essentially it's a decentralized discussion platform on the web, so that you can discuss on any link, basically, in a decentralized manner. And by decentralized, I really mean there's no centralized servers powering the system. It's really powered by the people that use the system.
Yeah. So I want to give an example. Imagine Facebook. If Facebook today decided to shut down, we would have no say in that. Now imagine a Facebook in which it will only go down if everyone leaves. That's the whole idea about decentralizing the web. Everyone is collaborating and making sure that the whole thing is working. So that's what's happening here. There are no servers involved. Everyone who is discussing there is actually sharing peer-to-peer a peer-to-peer conversation.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here is a browser extension. We made it initially as a browser extension because it's easier to engage in a discussion on any link. And we have some conversation here on the Moxy Studio website. So as you can see, you have a list of comments. This feels pretty much as a chat application where you can just comment and have threads, and you can edit comments, remove comments, and the usual features around discussion platforms. I can actually show some of it working, like hello. And I think posts, and if other people are actually in the discussion, they will see the comment right away, because one of the advantages of peer-to-peer is that it feels really instant for them.
People are connected to each other.
Yeah.
So this, on a graphical level, it might seem simple and very similar to many other chatting platforms, but it's actually not. The way it is built underneath, it's very, very different, and it's a giant leap for, creating a whole new internet. So it's a big movement that's coming.
And
right
actually,
now.
in terms of Y and Wax, there are pretty challenge, huge challenges in terms of Y Wax, because you don't have a single source of truth, because they are interconnected, and the source of truth is really among
everyone. So it's funny because everyone involved in this will have their own version of the truth. So that creates a whole new set of challenges on a UX level. How do you communicate that to users so that it doesn't become complicated to them, because
I can
certain standards have been defined. Yeah.
One example is like if I enter this discussion by the first time, when the loading really disappears, because you don't know when, because there's no centralized server, so there's no single request with a single response. You have to fetch the state from many peers, 1, 2, 3, 4, even thousands of peers. So it's a different challenge in terms of UI and UX. This was just one example. There are many others.
But let's move on to the other one. So another project we're working on, and this is very, very, very fresh, very exciting stuff here. It's codenamed right now IDM, which is Identity Manager. Again, around the decentralized web, this is one of the big problems that we are facing on the decentralized web. This is very early on design and development. One of the main issues that we have at the moment is because we don't have a central registry of users, how do I know who you are, and how do you know who I am, and how do we authenticate each other? So that's something that we have actually wrote an RFC, request for comments, for
proposal.
Well, proposal for a spec on how this could work, an open standard, and we are actually implementing a
reference implementation.
Exactly, a reference implementation. We want to make sure that it is very visual appealing, and that's a tip for any designers out there. I think this is really good. There is a lot of exciting stuff happening around this whole decentralized and distributed web, but there are at the moment not many designers involved, and I think that ends up showing because a lot of the solutions that you see typically are very engineering, if you know what I mean, like not very user friendly.
So everything around data visualization, right? We had someone here yesterday who was talking about designing data visualization.
Exactly. So you need people who understand how users perceive information, how users will be expecting to interact, and that's something that we are trying to tackle ourselves because we feel we can bring both the engineering level and the design, you know. And that's why we are doing this. Very excited about creating a good reference implementation for an open standard for decentralized identities. And
that's your own project. So it was not a client who came up to you and said, "I want that."
It's an open effort. So we are collaborating with the open source community at large. So we are driving this project. So it was our proposal, but we have companies getting involved they have a stake in it. They are very interested. For a frame of reference, you've probably heard of stuff like Ethereum, blockchain, you have
worked on them.
Okay. So there you go. So you know that there are a lot of people looking for solutions for this specific problem, for the decentralized identity. So yes, once we put this out there, a lot of good organizations, even from IBM, they reached out and have someone working with us as well.
We have several people, like for instance Mozilla. There are some, they manifest some interest. Also IBM and many others in general. So this
regarding blockchain.
Regarding this specific solution, which is not specific to blockchain, it wants to solve the whole problem. So it wants to be an open standard that would allow blockchain solutions and other types of solutions to coexist within this environment.
And it's a unified identity solution. That's the major difference between other solutions out there.
It's kind of like a holy grail in the whole area.
Great.
So very techy, but very design challenged at the moment, so that's why I wanted to. We wanted to raise this.
How do you start this project? What do you So you had this idea. Then do you tell one of your designers, "This is our idea. Can you create a wireframe?" Or what is your usual process?
That's hard.
I think the project started very organically. All these decentralized contexts was mainly started with a relationship with a client, but we manifest so much interest in this technology because it might be the next big thing in a few years. So we want to have an edge in terms of other companies. So we are very interested in this type of technologies. And I in particular, I'm pretty interested in solving this problem, the identity problem. And you know, I just put an effort on doing that, and it got many people interested in it.
You got traction.
Yeah.
Then in terms of the actual collaboration within the team, because as I was saying, there are very complex challenges in here, and it's very new technology. So for a designer to grasp what's happening and what are the challenges, why can't I make the same things I have been doing? Like our designers had to work very closely with our engineering team in understanding the problems, trying to come up with solutions. So it's a very iterative research and development function that's happening at the moment to find the right paradigms to convey anything that needs, or everything that needs to be conveyed to the user. So that's how we work. We have people, designers and engineers, working very closely. They speak pretty much every day, and they are exchanging
very
ideas.
agile.
Very, it needs to be, because it's a new world. You are literally finding new solutions for very complex problems. So there's no previous path.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
And did you also do a project in the past that you thought was great and was actually not, and was kind of an eye-opener to you? There's something you can
Why do you do that to us?
Because it's always good to show the people out there that you have to fail at some point in order to proceed to get better and achieve what you have achieved. I mean, you have founded an agency 2 years ago, which is nominated for an award. So I mean,
Oh, we make mistakes. We make mistakes.
We all do mistakes. We all make mistakes. So it's always good to see something that, you know, your perception was completely the opposite of what was perceived by the audience.
Okay.
So is there something you can show?
Well, I can. What?
When I answer that, or
Well, I'll talk about one specific project. I wouldn't say. Me personally, I wouldn't say I had like a complete failure, because from every failure I got to learn quite a bit from it. So it's always a success in that sense. But yes, certain things have failed in the past. One specific example was, well, before starting Moxy, we were actually working together with our other partner, who is back there, is waving at us. We were working together. It was a music streaming platform targeted specifically for independent artists. And on the engineering and design front, it was really good. On the business side, it was a bit more. I don't want to say sketchy and sound wrong. What I mean is it wasn't as strong, you know. So that ended up not feeding enough into the design and into the engineering. Back then, I was a chief technical officer at that company, and that sort of polluted or did not align everything that we were doing, and the project itself ended up not being successful from a business point of view, simply because we weren't integrated enough. That's something that we try to do at Moxy now. That's a lesson we took. Like, we do transversal design. We want to make sure that whatever we are designing, because when you are designing, you are making a lot of decisions. You need to be thinking about a lot of things. Of course, you need to be iterating, but if you're not bringing all perspectives, at least the main perspectives, and of course business is one of them, if you're not bringing that into whatever you are trying to design, you're potentially shooting yourself in the foot. And that's probably my key, my main failure. That company eventually failed.
I relate to the same project. And another thing that I want to add to that project is that the music industry itself is very difficult for you to penetrate. Because
have you researched that before?
I mean, that was not our competency of the the company. We were more on the technical side and design and UX and so on.
Yeah, we were essentially brought into the project. It didn't start from us.
So
on that note, we can definitely tell our users: fail fast, learn fast.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
And you can create an agency and
yes.
maybe win an award tonight.
Yes.
So
and
fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
And actually, one of our goals is to actually have an internal product someday. So perhaps another project will become successful.
Probably not in music.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, thank you very much. And coming up next is Rufus with Risa. And yeah, have fun.